Rightio, then short video today because Tengu Man's stage is really fucking short, wouldn't you believe it? And here we go. So Tengu Man, in keeping with the phallic tradition, has a giant fucking gimp mask and a Pinocchio nose. I don't really want to know where he's going to put that, and frankly I think I'm going to find out anyway. So the stage opens with an automated side-scrolling section and motherfucking balloons. Also a return of the cloud enemy from Cold Man and his little boss trick. They latch onto you, your jumping goes to shit and you can't shoot. Obviously, in a side-scrolling platform section, this is bad news. You can get the one-up from under there, you just got to move quite quickly, and frankly I can't be fucked. Yes, those are spikes up the top of the balloon run and a little bit of a leap of faith, because, you know, the game wasn't being enough of a dick beforehand. And so we're through the first section in record time, well, the first half of the first section. Now the balloons change colour, and we get the return of the, turrets from earlier levels. They're a recurring problem throughout this entire game, just for reference. And Duckmen, because, well, the game just wasn't quite bizarre enough without a horde of flying ducks launched at you. Luckily, they're only really found in this one, and you can, as you see me do there, abuse that one to get knocked back onto a balloon. They're not really a threat unless you let them group up and start launching a lot of attacks at you, as you see me nearly plummet to my death there by fucking up that jump. And we're away through here. Now we get to another rather annoying section where we get the big enemies for this stage. These little wolf bear things and the cloud enemies that restrict your firing. So the way it works is the enemies will sit over a wind launcher effectively, and they'll modify that to fuck with your positioning. So it'll either be blowing you away or towards them. And there's usually two of them, and the second one will have a slightly different gimmick. Pain in the ass mostly because you can't actually get through till you kill them. And since, of course, being hit of any sort loses your charge and you need to use a charge shot to kill the cloud, tremendous pain in the ass. Also, of course, because Mega Man can only shoot straight out, you can run into a bit of a problem where the cloud will actually sit at an unhittable position because its hitbox is actually smaller than the physical model. So now we got these little Satan's helpers again. Still invulnerable to all front shots, so you just hit them from below. Easiest way through this segment is basically to goad the little dude into walking off. You want to be careful with your fire on this stage because there's actually a couple of sections where missing shots will screw you up. And now we're being assaulted by giant industrial batteries and abusing the invincibility frames right there to get through an area I didn't particularly want to fight them on. And now you'll see the biggest fuck up of me in this game thus far. Here's the thing, as you see me scrub there. In this particular game, you cannot slide while over the top of a ladder. You will climb down the ladder instead. And since the wind area will blow you back onto the ladder if you're not careful, trying to slide and dodge against this particular opponent's a pain in the ass, because if you screw it up, you have to start the entire fucking fight over again. Fuck that shit. The second part, fortunately, very easy. It is basically just an endurance race. If you're willing to use the weapon you got from Ground Man, the split missile, much easier fight because you can sit out of their range of fire and just pepper them. Which would be a lot simpler than what I chose to do, but yeah. And here's, you'll see what I mean by missing a shot. That blows open that thing. Now we're getting blown around, and it's actually a problem because it messes up your jumping here. And that's a tight jump to make at the best of times. So we have lots of turrets, lots of giant industrial batteries as you see me break out the boss weapon to that, and that is one of the areas where it screws you up. You see me being blown back into the enemies and screwing up again, and generally getting gangbanged by batteries. Not something I ever thought I'd have to deal with as a male. And again, you see the gimmick continuing on where a missed shot causes something that will just screw you up. Fortunately, the clouds in this particular area don't respawn, and if you stand at the right angle, you can trick the turrets into shooting the walls for you and doing nothing. Not gonna... Well, I actually am gonna grab the CD, because why the fuck not? It's right fucking there. And we're gonna jump up, and we got Sniper Joe and a Cloud Dude. Same problem as area. as before, if you try and slide to get away from the cloud while standing over the ladder, it doesn't work. And as always, multiple enemies in this game. Bit of a pain in the ass because if you are hit while charging, you will lose your charge. And some enemies can only effectively be dealt with the charge shot. And Sniper Joe and his invulnerable shield's one of them. So now we're at pretty much the boss, Tengu Man, who's, as the name would suggest, a flying bird dude. With any other weapon, he's a pain in the ass because he will frequently stay up out of your reach, effectively. With Megaman, if you are playing as Bass, on the other hand, he's actually quite weak because he will walk into your angled shots. That's his main attack, the tornado thing. It's going to do nothing to you, or it's going to kill you in one shot. If you are too close to the edge when he whacks you with that, goodbye. Off the edge you go, and that's the end of it all. As you see me messing up a lot of shots. The trick with this one is basically get up high enough, launch at him, let him take the hit. He's one of the few bosses that you can actually hit off screen, and also one of the few bosses you saw there that can actually kill you after being killed. But he's dead now, and generally, the Birdman is just fucked. It's one of the easier boss fights if you have the weapon for taking him out. If you don't, it's an exercise in slow grinding frustration. Much like married sex. So now we get the Tengu Blade, which functions both as sort of an X-style, Zero-style slash, as well as a boomerang attack. Haven't messed around with it much, but it looks rather flexible, and it is kind of going to be necessary for the next boss fight. So I'll see you all whenever the fuck I get around to doing that.